Hey guys, Corey here on the Hip Kit Club YouTube channel with a new page, and it's actually for the sketch challenge. So here's the sketch, but if this isn't enough time for you, you can always go over to the member forum over on Facebook and download it there because we post it and it's a challenge and you're going to get time to, do the whole challenge and possibly win. So that's what's really cool. Okay, so I'm actually going to stick pretty close to the original sketch on this one because I just really loved it. And I already had done the journaling and I didn't want to share it just because it was kind of private for my daughter. And so I did this whole little hidden journaling, and I'm just making a pocket out of stuff like just right on the back, so it just easily slips right behind the photo. So I do hidden journaling quite a bit just because I feel like sometimes there's stories to tell that just I feel like need to require a little bit more effort for the viewer to kind of look at. So I'll do this a bunch, and then also the added benefit is that there's lots of space for embellishments. What do you know? So I did want to make just kind of a little pull tab on the journaling, so that's what I'm making with this. And then once I get all that done, I'm going to really start going on this page. The journaling on this one was a little bit difficult for me because it really has nothing to do with the photograph other than the fact that it's of my daughter. But it had been a kind of a rough day when I made this page, and I really wanted to get down everything that I was thinking about what had happened during the day and everything else. So there you go. All right, so the first thing I want to do, obviously, is just get a little color on the background. So I'm using the February 2020 Hip Kits. This is the color kit, the Lindy Stamp Gang powder that came in the color kit. So I'm just using that just to get a little color on the back of the page. The more water you add, the lighter it gets. It's just really easy to work with, kind of like a watercolor. So once I get that done, and then once it's dry, I can start playing with some different pattern papers. So I loved this sketch and how it was just all of these layered papers and things like that. So I got a little bit of the vellum, and then I'm just pulling out a couple of the pattern papers that I think are going to look really good. She's wearing kind of like a bright pink shirt underneath a white sweater, and it has this little Valentine's Day balloon. So I thought it would be good to kind of like highlight that pink. And of course, the February kits are perfect for that. And then so that's what I wanted to do. And then this white one, I felt like it was just kind of like small pieces of color. So that's really fun too. What I'm doing with these papers though, is I'm just tearing them. I didn't want to have real clean lines. I just wanted to have like a nice rough edge. And so, tearing paper is a great way to do that. It kind of adds like a little texture, and if you roll it up, it's a little dimension, and depending on which way you pull it, it's either like a thin edge of pattern paper, or you kind of rip that top part off and then you just get a little white underneath. I don't know. It's just kind of fun. If you want it a little bit straighter, you can always use a ruler and tear it with the ruler, and that helps make it a little bit straighter so that you don't have like all these crazy wonky edges when you're going against grain, which can kind of be annoying, but whatever, I don't really care. It is what it is. It's just paper. So I'm good with wonky. So anyhow, so I'm going to go ahead and get these adhered down. I'm finding this kit to be awesome to work with. Like, I just love pink so much. And do you know, like, I have a pink sweatshirt that I probably look like the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man in, because it's this like super light pastel-y pink, and it's like really, really soft, and there is nothing special about it whatsoever, but I love it. Pink, I think, really is one of my favorite colors, but that's totally digressing. So anyhow, I liked the shape of this heart and I wanted to use it as a template. So I just used my X-Acto knife, cut out the inside, and then I have this to be able to trace hearts. So in the sketch, she had like a little cluster or a couple little hearts over on the side. So I found a couple of different pattern papers. I'm going to trace the heart, and then I'm just going to cut them out. So super easy. but a great way to kind of like get this kind of different little shape onto the page. Now, I did buy, a used silhouette not too long ago, and I honestly haven't used it since the page that I created with all the hearts on it. And I did use up all of those little hearts too for other pages. I haven't even pulled it out yet. I probably ought to, because I probably could have cut out some really cool like little wonky hearts, and they probably would look better than my fussy cut ones out. But oh well. You know what? I was in the groove of making this, and the last thing I wanted to do was to stop and get the whole silhouette machine all loaded up. Sometimes it's just a laziness issue. I hate to admit that, but okay, so back to this page. So once I got that on there, I definitely wanted to get into some of these embellishments. I figured it was time to get the title on so that I didn't use up too much space with different things. And I really liked the placement of the title kind of going up the side like that. The title is Update, which basically is just the update on her. If you pulled out the little thing, you could read it all. Hopefully someday she'll read it, or, if we like totally forget or whatever, what was going on in, March of 2020, then we can pull this out and be like, oh yeah, that was terrible. But unfortunately, I don't think we'll ever forget. So, that's how it goes. Don't worry, nothing like so terrible that we're not going to live through it. Nothing, it's just whatever. So you understand how that goes. So I'm adding in a little thread. I'm putting her initials on the page. I always do that just because, I'm paranoid that if someday I can't remember which kid is which, at least maybe if I just remember what the girls' names were, then at least I'll know, oh, that's who these are, doing that. And then just going to kind of go through and get all these cool embellishments on. I really wanted to use like some of these phrases, but none of them really worked with what the journaling is about. So I kind of figured, well, we'll just have to put those aside and I'll use those at another time. They were all just a little bit too like best day ever, best birthday ever. It's not a birthday. It wasn't necessarily the best day ever. I mean, it wasn't the worst, but I was being kind of real. And so best day ever was really like one of those times where you're like, oh, totally blowing smoke up if I were to put that on there. So I just left those off. So I added in one little flower die cut. I thought that was kind of cool. I added the little puffy sticker banner. I love that. I could use a bunch of those. I wanted to put this amazing die cut on there too, but again, it didn't really work. It sort of did work because she is amazing, and in my journaling, I just talked about how proud I was of her for just, dealing with so many different things, but it just didn't really work anywhere on the page. And then I did want to move that because it seemed like it was kind of floating on the bottom and it didn't really work there, but I kind of like it back up underneath A Good Story and Life is Good. And then other than that, I'm just going to get a few other little things, mostly just hearts around here. I found I'm stumbling. I'm so sorry. Just all the different little heart stickers that came in the February kits. Using those here and there just to kind of sprinkle around the page. I always like that. And then this is a flower puffy sticker, which I felt like it just needed a little bit more, texture underneath those hearts right there. It just looked kind of blank. So that worked really well. And then this circle heart sticker, this kind of enamel dot like sticker. I love those. Those are so cool. I was looking at the original sketch and that she had definitely like backed it on something. And so I was like, oh, I'll do that. But I only wanted like 2 sides on there. So I just trimmed that up a little bit. Get the pink on the back. I'm going to stitch that as well. So I'm just going to glue it so it stays. But then I'm also going to stitch it down on the background because that way it's really not going to come off. Plus, I really like that edge where it's like stitched all around. I don't know. It looks kind of cool. But then once that's stitched, y'all, that's my page. Here is a close-up and a few little details. Now, guys, remember, head on over to the Facebook group, download the sketch in case you didn't catch it well enough here, and play along with us. You get a 10, if you are chosen as the winner, you get a $10 gift card to the shop. Otherwise, thanks for watching, and until next time, bye.